Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. How
So, Innisfil, we did an update last week and it wasn't looking too promising. How's it going this week?
It's not much better. The inventory levels are still sitting around the same. I believe last week we were sitting at 317 active listings in the community, and now we're at 322. Are continuing to do this. Boom, it's done. Continuing to see extensive high days on market. I want to give an example before I go into numbers. So I pulled off this property that stood out with on me today. We're looking at the board. Surprise, surprise, it's a new listing. 878,333 for a two-story, little under 2,000 square feet. To my surprise, they've been trying to sell it since last May. So
Wow.
let's just so three. I didn't do the day. 400. We're going to say if not more days on market. And now we're priced at 878,000 from originally 1,053,000. You know what I don't understand, Diane, is that how can a seller stay with that agent? Let's just think about it. What kind of advice and information is that seller receiving from the agent? Or is that agent just going for sale and doing nothing else and hoping to get an offer?
Well, I think it's a hard call too because I've had listings where I'm telling them to lower it like way before they're agreeing. They won't agree to lower it. And I'm trying to tell them like the market's slowing down, you need to lower the price. Or when I originally listed, they want higher than I want it to be. So it's like you're always behind the curve.
I don't know. I disagree. And I know we have those people and stuff like that, but I think as real estate agents, if we're the professionals in industry, and if we don't, of course, some do and a lot do, a lot don't, give them what the price should be and be very disclosing all information, showing them exactly what's selling. Why in the hell would I take that listing at 1,053,000? I wouldn't take it. I'd say, sorry, I'm the wrong guy for you because I can't sell that listing. And I know there's 10 other guys in lineup that will take that like that. I'm
Yeah.
not one of those guys because I can't sell your listing. It doesn't make sense for me in this kind of a market. This isn't a market of wait and see today.
No,
This
I
is
know.
this is saying anyone selling today, I really believe it's for a reason. It's not going, well, if I get my money, I'll sell. I don't want listings like that because it's not realistic what's going on in the marketplace. And if I was going to a listing today, I'd say, here's the price, here's the data. Great. I think we should revisit in maybe 3 weeks, depending on if we're not getting attention. I'm not saying, hey, we got to lower the price in 3 weeks, but let's just see what the comments are saying. How do we compare to the competition?
Yeah.
And someone looking at that 878 listing right now, do you think that seller's motivated at 878,000? I think that they're going, well, we really want 950. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I think it's really, really difficult in a market that's on a continual downward spiral. Because, like, I had listings last year at this time, and it was difficult because they're looking like a month or 2 months ago when it's selling at the higher price, and then they're thinking, well, why I'm not giving it away.
Then take it off the market then.
Yeah.
Take it off the market. They're not giving it away. No one's telling people to give their houses away, but if you're not happy with today's market pricing, take it off the market. Don't waste your time getting convenience with showings, getting offers coming and saying, no, I'm not accepting that price, and then signing it back at a stupid price because it's just not, it's doing nobody no good. It
Well,
really,
and the other thing is, it's not that, like, I think by you saying, well, I'm not going to take the listing because I can't sell it, it's not a matter of I'm not going to take the listing because I'm not going to make any money. It's a matter of the stress, and it's very, very stressful when you list a property and it's not selling. Like, people, the sellers all over you, they're on, and I'm getting that right now. I have sellers all over me that, like, And it's not that we're priced too high. Nothing's selling in the high range. Like they're just not selling.
No,
So
no.
what do you want me to do? Like I'm trying to do, I cancel relist, you try to do different things, but it's still not working.
No, and I know some sellers have to be patient and expect, like, you know, what we're seeing in Barrie, 22 days is probably 35 or 40, if not higher in Innisfil. But, you know, sellers today just can't, in that community, can't be sitting there going, I want this or I'm not selling. Because you know what?
Problem, well, and the problem in Innisfil, which we don't see it as bad in Barrie, is that they're all Toronto agents. And
But what are they doing? Aren't they seeing what we're seeing?
I don't
Aren't
think they I don't think they pay attention to it though,
I
because
don't.
they're in the Toronto market. They're watching the Toronto market. And the Toronto market isn't what we are.
No, it's not. It's
No.
not. And I think for an agent working in any kind of market, whether you have listings in, you know, Barrie, Innisfil, or Toronto, you got to watch that market that you're in, right?
Yeah.
Most sellers today are looking for advice. You're the professional today. You're the one that should be giving them what's going on in the market, what kind of price changes. Here's what's sold. Here's why it's sold. Here's the history. Here, like, there's so much information that we have at our fingertips today. And there's a lot of agents that are just too goddamn lazy to share it and hop on a computer and communicate that to their clients. And that's why I really believe we have a ton of inventory in that community not selling today.
Well,
Because
they're priced too high.
everything's priced too high down there.
Yeah, I know.
Problem. And that's a community that used to be dominated by a few local agents. And the guy who stands out in my mind is Igor. When we started our business, Igor owned Innisfil. Who's Igor? They'd say today. He doesn't own it.
Mm-mm.
All dominant down in the city agents. And I, sorry for bashing them, but they just kind of seem like they just forget about the listings up here. And then they just go, oh, and then a seller goes, well, my agent told me nothing's selling, so it's okay. Well, there's a reason nothing is selling because it's not priced properly.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So anyway, enough about ranting about the out of town agents. Okay. So 322 listings, 317 last week, 8 solds in Innisfil this week.
Hmm?
Are you ready for the big drum roll?
Yeah.
2.50% of the listings are selling in that community. Under 3% of the product is turning in that community. That's just at par with the Barrie condo market right now.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Horrifying. So 6 of the properties were under $1 million, 2 were over $1 million. And I want to talk about one of them. It's going to go back to the same content we were talking about, but anyway, 1460 Tompkins was originally priced at 1,499,000. 64 days on the market. What do you think it sold for before I reveal?
1.2.
Under 1,125,000.
Wow.
That's a 275,000 off list price. But we know right away at 1.5 is way too high.
Yes.
Way out of the moon. So 64 days. So let's ask you this question. 64 days it finally sold. I didn't go back and see, and I don't, and they did chisel it down a little bit, but they lost 64 days or 63 days of prime selling season. You think about September, October, it's kind of shit.
Yeah.
They missed some of that summertime market that still was pretty, turning okay. And we've seen some better things in that market down there. So why not list it right the first time?
I know.
List it what is selling today. Stop sellers right now of looking at what your neighbors have sold it for. Or, well, my neighbors around the corners listed at 1.5, so I should be the 1.5. Stop that right now, because if that's a strategy of yours, that's just not the strategy to
Well,
follow.
the problem is you have to look at active listings to a degree.
You do. Yeah, you do. They need to come into play.
They do. But being in line with everybody else that's sitting there for months and months and months isn't going to help you.
It's not. It's not. Obviously the market isn't prepared to pay that kind of money for properties down there right now because they're pretty pricey. A lot of product mix is well over $1 million. A lot of product to choose from today. The list goes on and on and on. One other property I want to talk about. 1883 Emerald Court, 83 days on market, 3-bedroom bungalow, not a finished basement, detached, decent street.
I seen that.
Yeah.
I showed that.
What do you think it's sold for?
What was it listed?
775.
Maybe 7.
705. I thought that was a decent price.
It smelled.
It did, eh? Okay. So was it tenanted? Because it didn't say tenanted.
Nope. It was vacant and it had the weirdest layout.
Okay.
Because like you walked in and there was a little wee kitchen to your right, but the kitchen was like a little a U and it was tight.
Okay.
But it was rough.
It was rough. See, I only saw the best pictures. I went, holy cow, that without you knowing that, I looked at the pictures and I went, wow, this is a pretty good deal. Because obviously I looked at the best 10 pictures that were up there or whatever. So
it's still a good deal in Innisfil for what it is. But my issue was there was like a weird smell in it.
Okay.
Almost like bleach.
Okay.
And my client, like, as soon as we opened the door, we were like, what is that? And the basement was even worse. So I don't know if there was water or mold and they tried to clean it. I don't know, but there was a weird smell.
Okay. Well, I thought it's still a decent price.
Oh, it is. It was all brick, double car garage.
Yeah.
It is. It was it.
I was kind of shocked when I saw 83 days on market. The first thing, why didn't this sell? But I'm glad that you showed it. So give the viewers a bit of an idea. And yeah, we won't go into detail. I want to talk about some updates. So from that week that just passed, there was 43 new listings. Now, viewers don't think that there's 43 new listings that's come on the board in Innisfil because it's not an accurate number. These are over half of them, if not more, are terminations and relists. We haven't really seen the inventory levels increase that much in the community. So it's just people trying different things, trying to get the pricing down. Let's cancel it, relist it, shows fresher on the board, and change around a few pictures and change the write-up and change the price. And hence is not doing much.
Yeah.
11 price changes, and there's 4 conditionally sold so far right now in the community. So that 4 will roll over to the sales this week in there. Yeah, that's all I kind of got for Innisfil. Anything you would suggest to sellers today in Innisfil market? You know where I stand on it.
I think you have to price it lower than everybody else to try to get some kind of even action at all.
Lower in a sense, or maybe how about market value? How about try to find a market value for that property instead of listing it at what everybody else is listing it at?
Well, that's what I mean. But I mean, if your neighbors are 1.2, there's no point in you going 1.2 because they're all sitting there.
They're all sitting there.
So you're going to have to go lower.
100%. There's Gracie.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to have to, right? Because and there's a good way to look at this. The viewers can say, okay, that's one listed for 60 days. They've already tested the market for you.
Yeah.
You think they've tested it. It's not working.
Yeah.
So thanks for your feedback and thanks for sitting there. We believe it should be this price. Maybe that number is 1.1, but that could be the right number for the property.
Yeah, well, exactly. And there's no point in doing something. You know, it's what did they who used to say? I can't remember who said it, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You're not going to get any kind of different result than everybody else's.
You're not.
So, like,
not. And
I need to see something. Go ahead.
I'll do some chatting. And to adding to Diane's point about pricing it properly, I suggest every seller today interview at least 2 to 3 people. And not necessarily going with the person that says, oh, I can get you 1.2. Meanwhile, they're giving you exactly what you want to hear, that price. If they can't back up the 1.2 and be transparent with information and pulling up board listings in front of you, or doing videos and going through listings and here's what's sold and being very descriptive about everything, that's not your agent. The agent that you should go with is the one that is taking the time, showing you the data, showing you what's actively on the market, showing you what's sitting on the market, and showing you what is sold and how your property compares to, say, that sold 2 doors down or 3 blocks away. How do we fit that price
Well,
point?
you know what, Mark? I think another big problems that I've come into year after year after year, and we've been doing this a lot of years, is that everybody thinks their house is better than their neighbors.
Well, they do.
Every time, oh yeah, but we have this. Okay, but they have that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I have a finished basement. Well, they have a triple car garage. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, when you look at other comparables, you have to be realistic.
You have to be.
Get your emotions and disassociate your emotions from this situation, okay? Because I find it all the time.
100%. And people should take their emotions out of it and say, this is the market today. This is what it's paying today. And we don't know what the market will pay for the house 3 months from now. We don't know. Sentiment in the market right now isn't good, right? It's especially in Innisfil. Barrie, I'm thinking it's okay in check in the freehold market, but Innisfil is not in check with what's going on in Simcoe County in a sense of what's, Barrie is doing well. We're so far, and I should have pulled up what sold last year, and that's my fault. But I can tell you it was more than 8 properties.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and the other thing is we want to sell your house and we want to do the best we can for you and we want to get you the most. But we want to actually get the house sold because, if you don't, you're not doing your job for one. And none of us want to not do our job well. And second of all, I mean, you want your client to be happy, right? So you have to be realistic with the whole thing. Because if you're not, you're setting everybody up for failure.
Well, you are setting them up for failure. And I've said this 100 times, and I stand by my word that if I took that list, I wouldn't take that listing today. Just because
it's a no-win situation and you're going to fail.
And what's going to happen is that I'm going to fail because I'm going to run out of ideas after, okay, let's do another open house. Hooray, hooray. That doesn't do a lot of things for your problem. Mark, how'd the open house go? Well, really good. I was on my phone the whole 2 hours because nobody showed up. That's normal. I've done that.
Yeah.
Right.
Lots.
So instead, I would be turning it around and saying, you know what? Here's the price that I believe that it should be today. And I believe in honesty. I'm very honest about anything, and whether it hurts that seller's feeling or the buyer's feeling, I'm going to be upfront. And I know it's cost me some potential business along the way, and I'm okay with letting some of that business go because I feel it's not a win-win, that I can't make that seller happy or buyer happy because it's not going to sell. And after the contract is done, how many times have we seen this? See you later, boot. And then they got another front lawn sign on there from another agent.
Yeah, I know.
$1,000 less. Meanwhile, we've been telling them that for the last 5 or 6 months, and they don't listen to us and they look someone else.
Yep.
I don't want to go through that. That's those days for me are long gone. I'd rather be, here it is. Here's what I think is an ideal list price. And if we're not on the same page, then we shouldn't work together. Because it's not a good thing for the seller. It's not a good thing for me as an agent, yourself as being an agent. We're going to be at each other all the time and frustrated. Both parties.
Yeah.
One wins.
Yeah.
One wins. So that's my rant for Innisfil one. The way I
Yeah,
think.
Innisfil sucks.
It does.
I love Innisfil, but it's sucking.
Pricing is wrong down there. It's all not just a little bit wrong. It's all wrong down there. And I think it's getting, and if something doesn't change, it's getting worse. So any questions about the Innisfil markets, reach out, give us a like, give it a follow for more information. We continually update these videos once a week and do a monthly broadcast on what we see in the month. So that's it for me.
That's it for me.
Okay. See you.
Talk later.
Bye.